On this journey together, we have arrived to episode 4, Identity, the missing piece of motivation. There is a moment in every journey where you realize something uncomfortable, something that doesn't feel good at first, but frees you once you accept it. And it's this: you don't rise to the level of your goals, you fall to the level of your identity. For years, I tried to change my habits without changing the person behind them. I tried to force discipline onto a version of myself who didn't believe he was disciplined. I tried to build consistency on top of a foundation that didn't see itself as consistent. I tried to act like someone I didn't yet believe I was, and that's why everything felt temporary. That's why every change felt fragile. That's why every win felt like luck instead of growth. Because I was trying to behave my way into a new identity instead of becoming the identity that naturally behaves that way. And if you're listening to this, maybe you felt that too. Maybe you're trying to be the productive one, the healthy one, the focused one, or the disciplined one. But deep down, you didn't believe that that was you. And when your identity doesn't match your actions don't last. So here comes the identity gap. There's a gap, a space between you and what you want to be. And most people try to jump that gap with motivation. They try to leap across it with intensity. They try to sprint over it with willpower. But identity isn't something you jump into. Identity is something you grow into. And the truth is, your identity is always speaking, always whispering, always influencing your behavior. When you say things like, I'm just not a morning person, I'm not consistent, I'm not disciplined, I always fall off, I'm not creative, I'm not organized, I'm not good at sticking to things, you're not describing yourself. You are programming yourself. You are reinforcing the identity that keeps you stuck. And here's the part that hurts. Your brain will always act the person you believe you are. If you believe you're inconsistent, you'll behave inconsistently. If you believe you're lazy, you'll act lazily. If you believe you're someone who quits, you'll quit. Not because you want to, but because your identity demands it. Identity is the script, behavior is the performance. And if you don't rewrite the script, the performance never changes. There was a moment, a quiet one, when this truth hit me. And I was sitting alone, staring at a notebook, frustrated that I kept falling back into old patterns. And I asked myself a question I had never asked before. Who do I think I am? Not who I wanted to be, not who I pretended to be, not who I tell others I am. Who do I believe I am? And the answer was painful because I realized that I had been carrying an outdated identity, a version of myself that no longer matched the person I was trying to become. I was trying to build a new life with an old identity, and that never works. You can't become someone new while holding onto who you used to be. So identity is built, not found. People talk about finding themselves, but identity isn't something you find. Identity is something you build brick by brick, choice by choice, action by action. And the smaller actions matter the most because every action is a vote for the type of person you're becoming. When you meditate for 2 minutes, you cast a vote for I'm someone who takes care of my mind. When you write one paragraph, you cast a vote for I'm a writer. When you walk 5 minutes, you cast a vote for I'm someone who moves. When you clean one corner of your room, you cast a vote for I'm someone who creates order. Identity isn't built in big moments. Identity is built in small repetitions. And the more votes you cast, the more undeniable the identity becomes. The shift, the real shift, happened when I stopped asking, what do I need to do? And I started asking, who am I becoming? Because when you focus on identity, the actions follow naturally. If you believe you're someone who shows up, you show up. If you believe you're someone who keeps promises, you keep promises. If you believe you're someone who grows, you grow. Identity makes behavior effortless. And that's when everything changed for me. I stopped trying to force discipline. I started to become someone who values discipline. I stopped trying to force consistency. I started becoming someone who identifies as consistent. I stopped trying to force motivation. I started becoming someone who doesn't wait for motivation. Identity didn't just change my habits, identity changed my life. So I started writing identity statements, not affirmations, not fantasies, not delusions, not commitments. I am someone who shows up. I'm someone who keeps promises to myself. I'm someone who grows a little every day. I'm someone who protects my focus. I'm someone who follows through. I am someone who doesn't quit on myself. And at first, they felt like lies, but they weren't lies. They were seeds, and seeds don't look like the tree they will become. But if you water them, if you protect them, if you nurture them, they grow. And slowly, those identity statements became true, not because I repeated them, but because I lived them. Identity is the foundation, but even the strongest identity can be weakened by the wrong environment because your environment is always shaping you quietly, subtly, constantly. It can pull you forward or drag you backward. It can support your identity or sabotage it. In episode 5, I'm going to show you how to design an environment that makes success automatic, an environment that reinforces your identity, protects your habits, and makes the person you're becoming impossible to ignore. When you're ready, meet me in the next chapter right here.